I'm just laying on the floor, not wanting to clean. Not because I don't want to clean, and not because I don't want my house to be clean, but just Sundays are so exhausting for me. Going to church with young kids is so not the same as going any other time. But house is a mess, like I say, every night at the same time. So I need to get dinner in the kids, get them in the bath, and then we need to work together. We're gonna work together and get this house clean, right? You're gonna help me? You be my big helper? Nope. Great. Hi, it's Monday, February 10th, and we had a very productive day with work, and now I have to clean the house. It's making dinner right now. I'm gonna show you what I'm looking for. Let's show you what we're looking with here. We made a lot of bread, we made pizza, so the kitchen's a disaster, the floors are just a disaster, but we're gonna get it cleaned up. It's gonna feel great, hopefully. Gotta be quick because I'm late for a Pokemon battle. Today is Tuesday, February 11th. Today I need to mop the floors. I just remember before I had kids, I would like Swiffer the floor, which I thought was mopping at my house. Like I just did it like once a week just because they're supposed to. And my floors were never dirty, and I thought, yeah, anyways, one day, right? One day I'll miss the blueberries stuck to the floor, that's what they say. What I do to mop the floors to get everything up, I'm talking about like the crusted on blueberries and like strawberries and jam and sticky stuff, okay? I have like an actual mop, okay? Gone are the days of the Swiffer in my house, temporarily, but I have an actual mop, like, and I filled the bucket with hot water and a cleaner. Right now I've been using the pink stuff cleaner. By the time I've mopped the whole house, it's kind of sat in places, the water is soaked up into the food, and then what I do is I dump out the bucket and I fill it up with just plain hot water. And ideally, I would have like a separate mop head. One day I'll get there for just doing like a rinse after. Then I go over one more time with the mop. And it took me, I want to say 10 minutes to do this whole process today. And I got up all the blueberries. I got up all the strawberries. Yeah, we got it all up. Crusted on chocolate, all that. So that's worked for me. How do you guys mop? I'm really serious here, people. Help me out. How do you mop? It's a momentous occasion. I emptied my Scrub Daddy soap dispenser. It's only the second time since I moved here to Utah. We gotta fill it up. Beautiful. I really just want to hide in a corner, people, because I just woke up. Okay, we had a little bit of sleep in today. I just woke up. Just got showered, got ready. My house is such a disaster, people. This is just the morning. The house is spotless when I went to bed. Also got a lot of screaming going on. How was my laundry basket full? This was completely empty last night. How does that work? It's not always perfect and doesn't always go to plan. My kids, specifically my older kid, my younger kid, like can't clean up at all. But she usually does clean up her toys, and you have to remind her usually, but she'll do it without throwing a fit. But today, oh my gosh, I am livid, trying to remain calm with her attitude. Oh my goodness. And waking up her sister who's going through a sleep regression, it's just like put me over the edge. So I needed some space from her. So she's in my room expressing her emotions through her screaming. And I'm cleaning up the toys that I've been trying to get her to clean up for a very long time. I've helped her, and I feel like I've done everything. And at this point, I'm just gonna have to come up with a consequence. But what do you guys do when your kids refuse to clean up and you provided them ample opportunities, ample support? You've talked to them about their feelings and all that stuff, but they still just are kind of not being very respectful about their toys. And today has actually been super high stress, super high emotion for everybody in my family. So I'm gonna take today as an L in the cleaning. It's actually not that bad. But besides the toys being picked up, I'm not really doing any other chores. It's gonna deeply affect every single person in my house right now if I either make anybody else clean or if I clean and not cater to the intense needs of my family at this time. So that is, days like this are gonna happen, and that's kind of when I started the challenge. I already knew that. I'm not feeling defeated, feeling positive still of how much I've accomplished and how far I've come, and we're gonna keep pushing through and keep going with this. But just today, Wednesday, February 12th, I'm not gonna complete all my goals. That's embarrassing. So today I was like, I'm gonna go run a mile. I haven't run since the summer. I was too ambitious after having my baby, and I ran 3 miles, and then it just got really painful in my pelvic floor. So here, Mom, you know what I'm talking about. It took me 13 minutes to run a mile, and honestly, I'm proud of that because I actually finished it, and my pelvic floor didn't hurt, and more importantly, it didn't hurt and I didn't ignore it. That's kind of like my issue is I'm like, push through the pain, because most of my life that has worked for sports and dance and fitness and stuff. But after you've had a baby, just pushing through the pain could actually cause a lot of damage. So it's been a mental shift for me to focus on not pushing through the pain, but actually listening to the pain. Also, I've learned my lesson. Yesterday, I did not clean the house for the mental health of my family and myself. And this morning I woke up and I so regretted it. I don't regret my choice. I regret that I had to make that choice, because now my house is a disaster. Dishes, floors, laundry, toys, it's crazy. You gotta make those choices sometimes, and there are consequences to every choice you make, even if it's the right choice. So, little PSA to moms, women, people, is don't forget to eat, and don't put off meals, and don't forget to drink water. And those are just some simple things, but for me, is the secret is that I drink water and I eat food that gives me energy. And the reason I bring this up is because this morning we were on a tight schedule, and I woke up and I went for a run. So we just came home, I quickly showered, we changed, we went to the doctor. Then after the doctor, I had a short window of when I was gonna be able to go run some errands. So I was like, I'm so hungry, but I really need to run these errands before my baby freaks out. So we went and ran the errands. Slowly I'm getting hungrier. And for me, ever since having kids, I don't know why, but when I skip a meal, I like get these intense like stomach pain and cramps. And it's like, I'm hungry, but like my mind is like, I'm not that hungry. I can wait a little longer, but my body is like, we need food. You have to eat. And you have to eat good food that fills you up and gives you energy to keep going, to hold your patience. And it's important that you fill your cup. And there's times and extended periods of times when you as a mom or as a spouse or as a person are gonna have to have an empty cup just because of the season that you're in. Like for example, newborn season was so hard. Okay, my cup was empty all the time because I had to sustain the life of my baby. But now that my kids are kind of transitioning into a different season, I'm making sure that I make it a priority to feed myself a good breakfast and not letting my kids eat a ton of my food, because I'm so guilty of that, where I let them eat my food because mine's like really healthy and high protein and stuff. And they're like, oh, your eggs look really good. I'm like, please eat my eggs. No, I'm trying to tell myself, I can make you your own eggs, but I also need to eat my eggs. And you can't skip drinking your water. And I've noticed that if I don't drink water, not only am I thirsty and dehydrated and I get a headache, but I'm more prone to wanting to like overindulge in snacks. Make sure you're eating food and you're not putting off your needs to sustain a healthy mental state, so that your mind can be calm and fueled to handle the challenges that are gonna come in your day. And it's gonna help you handle the screaming. I notice that when I haven't eaten and it's time for me to eat and my kids are screaming, I start to get really short with them. But I'm like, then I go, I eat a snack or I eat some lunch, and I make sure it's something that gives me a lot of energy from fats and carbs and protein, and I am so much happier and able to handle the tantrums or handle the mess of my house, my life. This is the current state of my house. Bedroom, laundry, dishes I didn't do yesterday, so I just piled them in the sink. We've got tons more laundry going. Girls' room. I've got my husband's military uniforms that we were going through and taking inventory of, so we've got to get those put back away. So I'm kind of drained from running errands and like not eating until 1, but I'm gonna take a little break, hang out with my beautiful girls, and then when Zayla goes down for her nap in a little bit, we're gonna play some music, we're gonna clean this house, and it's gonna be great. Little tip for snacks: when you have a baby that's like eating solids and you need something to give them and you don't have any fruit, you're all out, and you need something they can pick up with their little hands and stay busy so you can get dinner cooked. I open up a can of already sliced olives, I dump it out in a container, and I keep it in the fridge. What, it costs like 50 cents? It keeps my baby so distracted. She loves to pick up the little olives, and that's a healthy fat. My only concern would be like the sodium count, the sodium in the olives, so try to get something with like a lower sodium amount, but like can't go wrong with fats. We're building that brain. Okay, we got the house cleaned up, and now I'm just like 6 o'clock. Still have an hour to bedtime. Both my girls are exhausted. Yep, we got JJ right there. So I don't know how we're gonna make it, but we gotta push through. If I could give anybody advice before they think about wanting to have kids, is make sure you have the discipline for certain things, because getting yourself to work out or live a healthy lifestyle before having kids, warm up level. Okay, let me tell you, after you have kids, no matter your situation, like for me, I have to bring, well, I should say, I get to bring both my kids to the gym with me, and they work out with me, and there's pros and cons to that. Probing, they get to see me working out, and they are learning about healthy living from watching. Con, I have to get everybody ready, everybody out the door. I gotta be super extra observant at the gym so nobody gets hurt. I gotta have extra patience, extra diligence and discipline to actually do the workout. So, if you think about having kids before you even get pregnant and you're gosh darn exhausted and tired and throwing up all the time, develop discipline for the things that matter to you, whether that's cleaning, whether that's working out, whether that's eating healthy. It's only going to be harder once you are exhausted, sleep deprived, have beautiful kids coming all over you all the time. Okay, Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. I was clean when I went to bed. How is this the story? How's this spotless when I go to bed? When I wake up, within 5 minutes of being up, the house is a disaster. There's dishes, there's laundry, there's crumbs on the floor, there's toys everywhere. Anyways, so I'm trying to get the house clean before my husband comes home from the gym, so that way when he comes home we can do like family stuff. So let's make this happen. I feel like my cleaning is hit a plateau where I either have to choose to break through, persevere, keep going, or give up and just revert to bad habits. But if I can push through, I can start a new chapter. But if I just give in, go backwards. So I am choosing to persevere, push through. I also wanted to say that, you know how when you have people coming over, you keep the house, like you can clean the house all of a sudden very quickly. Kind of try to manipulate yourself for that mindset, even if you don't have people coming over. try to come up with a reason that the house needs to be clean, and it's a reason that you're excited for. Like for me, we're gonna try making homemade fruit snacks, but I cannot even start that project until the kitchen in the house is clean. So for me, it's once it's all clean, we get to try to make something new. Or another thing would be, oh, when it's clean, I can lay in bed and watch a movie with the family, or you know, come up with something like that that motivates you. Also, another cleaning tip, it's probably more like discipline and better if you start with the hardest task. Yeah, I agree, Zayla. But I love to start with the easiest task, check it, move my way up to the hardest task. So like right now I'm gonna start in my husband's office, then I'm gonna hit the bedroom, then I'm gonna do the living room, then we're gonna do the kitchen, and then we'll put away laundry, because that's like one of my least favorite tasks. So start with maybe a task that also you find fun, and it helps. Honestly, the hardest part at any goal is just like starting. And once you start, you've got the momentum. So that's it. It's so much more beautiful with the baskets and the labels and the clear things, but this is what we got to work with, people. My daughter just made fun of me. She was like, I want to make a video. And so she made one where she's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. That was her impression of me. So, lesson learned. Kids hear everything. I do want to do it because I do want to clean house and I do want to complete my goals. So that is what we're going to focus on, okay? I will say that in the home unit, they take everything out, every cupboard, every shelf, every drawer, and lay it out. And I would do that if my baby was a little older, but I have a very short window of when it would be safe for things to be out. And so I'm just gonna do it section by section because I already know how I want my kitchen to function. So I'm gonna have things organized by, like, I'm gonna do this section first, finish it before I move to the next section, because I just know that if I start something too big, like something could happen later this afternoon, like I could have to go to the doctor, and then I would come home and the house would be a disaster. So we're gonna do little chunks. The goal is to get it all done today. I should have been doing a little bit every day this week, but we do what we do. Okay, we do what we can, we move forward, we pivot, we go. So that's what we're gonna do now. You think I'm listening to music? I am attempting to, but I'm really actually listening to the screams of my children. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. The kitchen honestly wasn't what was stressing me out about the kitchen deep clean. What was stressing me out about the kitchen deep clean was the pantry, which I did yesterday. I'm really glad I did that, but for the most part, my kitchen isn't crazy. Okay, so if you have been brainwashed like myself into thinking plastic is bad and silicone is better, I've got silicone plates and silicone bowls and stuff when my first daughter was baby, and they work out great. But I noticed after a time that my kids were refusing to eat their food, and I was like, my food tastes fine, what's wrong with food? If you give these silicone plates a little lick, they're gonna taste like dish soap. And it's not yummy to eat eggy, dish soapy eggs, okay? So if your kids are in a phase where they're not eating their food, see if your silicone plates taste like soap. And in that case, you either need to like boil them and sanitize them in that way, not using dish soap in the dishwasher, or washing them by hand, because that does not get the flavor of the dish soap out. So I would like boil them with a little bit of vinegar. Personally, I found that it is not worth it. So we opted for like stainless steel supplies, and they're easy to clean, they're dishwasher safe, there's no aftertaste. Con is they're not microwave safe. But if you're someone that doesn't microwave things, and I found that for me, most of the food that I give my kids is either something that doesn't need to be microwaved, or because I'm cooking it and giving it to them off the stove, like we're making a dinner and I'll give it to them, or they're eating things like fruit and stuff that doesn't need to be microwaved, or I'm giving them what I'm eating, and I'm eating on a ceramic microwave safe plate. So I just heat all of our food together and put that in the microwave, and then I put it in their bowl. Other con is if it gets too hot, the bowl will be hot to the touch. It cools down quickly, but just if you know when your kid is screaming their face off and you're just trying to give them the food quickly, but the bowl is hot, so just double check if you get the stainless steel bowls. Athena is gonna work on the kids' cups and stuff while I work on this section here. I have like a junk drawer, and then I have like a secondary junk drawer, because the junk drawer that my daughter knows is a junk drawer, so she plays in it. And then you have a real junk drawer for actual important junk drawer stuff, you know, like papers. Something that I love, I got these at Costco. I think they're called Swedish, but they're like paper towel material. But when you get them wet, they become like a bag. But then you can wash them in the washing machine, and then they come back just dried, and then you spin them with your rags. And I love it because they don't, like when you use a rag, they sometimes like the smell. But with these, they're just like paper towels, but you can use them. So that saves money. And I think it's a pack of a bunch for like $12. So they weren't that expensive compared to just buying a towel. So I towels just in case we clean up something like pee or stuff like that. This drawer is actually not to make sense. And it's not supposed to be pretty or organized because it's supposed to make my daughter think she's being sneaky, when she's not being sneaky. She's actually allowed to play with all this stuff. So all I can say is sleep regressions. This week was really bad. And I just had to put my family's health and my mental health above the cleaning. So on checklists, I failed the challenge this week, but overall I think I'm developing really good habits, and that is keeping me positive, even though I didn't really achieve my goal. But I'm still gonna keep going, try to keep moving forward with the challenge. But ask me again next week, but I don't think my answer will be yes, it is possible to keep a house clean for 30 days. I also quickly wanted to point out something that I feel and I do, and put it out in the world in case there's another mom that feels this way and thinks that she's bad or a bad mom or wrong, or you know, all those negative thoughts that we can tell ourselves, is that when I have hard weeks, ideally you have someone that can help when you get to this point. If you can think of somebody, ask for help. But sometimes as a mom, you don't have help. It takes a village, and the way that the world, our culture is set up is we make women think that they should be able to do it all by themselves. And we are taught that from a young age, so we feel that way. And we don't ask for help. And we feel guilty if we do have to ask for help. So first note, don't feel guilty asking for help. I think this is how I have helped myself learn how to ask for help, is if someone was in your situation and they asked you for help, would you shun them or judge them or be mad at them? I bet if someone asked you for help, you would jump at the opportunity and you would go above and beyond what they asked. And so anytime I ask for help, I pep talk myself, and I say, if somebody told me that they were stressed and needed someone to watch the kids so they could clean the house in silence, I could totally do that, and I would love to do that for somebody else. So why is it bad? Or why do I think that nobody else would want to do that for me? So maybe that helps. That's just how I have taught myself how to ask for help, because it's so hard to do. But sometimes you do ask for help and they just can't. They've got their own family and they just can't help. That happens. Or you don't have anybody to ask for help. My husband travels a lot for work, and I don't always have someone that I can ask for help. In that situation, we prioritize. We prioritize physical health of the people. So for example, poopy diapers, those gotta be changed within a reasonable time because we don't want diaper rash, and people need to be fed, and it doesn't have to be crazy healthy food. I just mean they need to be fed something. Mama needs to be fed too. Everyone needs to drink water, and anything else is bonus. Okay, so that's what you're gonna focus on, is those tasks. Cleaning the house, not a high priority. And from there, hopefully you can see a light at the end of the tunnel of when someone can relieve you so you can refill your cup. You don't always have help. You should ask for help if you have it, but we don't always have help. And yet we still have to do what has to be done. People have asked me, how did you give birth not able to even call your husband? I did what had to be done, and that is what mothers do. We do what has to be done, even when it's impossible. Mothers breaking boundaries from the beginning of time. I know that you would want someone to tell you that you don't have to do it alone, and that is true. Build a community if you don't have one. That's why I moved to Utah, so I could be closer to some people in my family, so that I could have a community that I could build. And that's what I'm trying to do now, is build a community of people I can rely on to help me as a mom and as a woman. Have grace with yourself. It's okay to let some things go to the wayside in order to focus on your own mental health and the health of your family and your own health. So keep that in mind.